His team and other critics say that black voters who helped him win there in Georgia, helped him get here to the White House, are being targeted with this new law and will be impacted the very most.
All right. Well, to discuss all of this, let's bring in the host of the Michael Knowles Show, Michael Knowles. Michael, good to see you.
Great to see you both.
Well, you know, the Sunday shows had a field day over these voting laws. You heard Chuck Todd talking about the image of it, right? It's crazy. It's the disinformation that was spread by these guys, whether it was Jonathan Karl or Chuck Todd or Chris Wallace, was unbelievable. It was like more to scare, to hype people than actually inform.
I love that gal at the end who said, you know, critics are saying this is really bad for minorities, and all the critics are saying that it's really racist and terrible. Who are the critics? The critics are you, you guys, the mainstream media. I think this would be outrageous if it weren't so expected at this point. The thing one needs to remember about the mainstream media is that they are not reporters and they're not unbiased journalists or anything like that. They are the Democratic Party. They are the communications wing for the Democratic Party. And so it's no surprise that they're spouting Democratic Party talking points, as they always do. Of course, the points they're making with regard to this Georgia voting law are absolutely preposterous. The law is common sense. The law is similar to voting laws we've had for a very, very long time in this country. But the Democrats believe that they've given themselves a big advantage in voting in 2020 by rewriting a lot of the voter laws. And I think they want to cement that advantage moving forward.
Yeah. Well, Michael, you talk about the press being the communications team essentially for the Biden administration. They're doing that quite a bit as well when it pertains to immigration. Take a listen to this.
Well, the president is working as quickly as possible to address the situation. He's using every possible avenue to ensure that we're getting these kids out of Border Patrol custody and into HHS facilities as quickly as possible.
We are committed to allowing cameras into the Border Patrol facilities. Absolutely. I will also say we're committed to solutions.
Well, I'd be excited to see those solutions, Michael, because they haven't let anyone down there with a camera that's press yet. So they talk about transparency. Meanwhile, you see ABC there defending Biden. They can't help themselves, it feels like, at times.
They certainly can't. The closest thing to a journalist that we've gotten into those facilities is Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz forced his way in because he's a member of a co-equal branch of government. He brought some senators with him. He had his phone camera out. He's doing more journalism than just about anybody down there. And a Biden political operative said, "Excuse me, sir, you can't do this, you can't do this." And he said, "What are you talking about?" And it was so telling what the political operative said. She said, you need to respect the humanity and dignity of the people in here. And Cruz said, well, I'm not the one putting them in the cages. I'm not the one putting them at 1,500% capacity. You're the ones. I'm just trying to expose what you're doing. And it seems time and time again with the Biden administration, it's simply the presentation that has to be humane and compassionate, whereas the underlying policies are anything but. They're far less humane and far less compassionate than anything we saw under Trump.
Yeah, it was unbelievable the way, but I also think to Lindsay's point, they get away with this stuff because there's really little pushback. Michael, before we go, we're entering Holy Week, and there was something that popped last night that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Lil Nas X, he's a singer that did the popular song Old Town Road. People might know that. He took a bunch of Nike shoes. In fact, it was 666, get it? 666. And he's selling them for $1,018 a pair. And it's a reference to a Bible verse, Luke 10:18, that reads, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. And each shoe contains one drop of human blood. It's just this is the kind of stuff that just I don't get why this is somehow considered cool and hip. This is just frankly disgusting.
It's a cheap publicity stunt. Obviously, it worked because everybody's talking about him now, and all it cost the rapper was his soul. But I think conservatives are right to take this seriously. Satan is a real person. Hell is a real place. And as Baudelaire said, the devil's greatest trick is to persuade people that he doesn't exist. I will say, though, however, Lil Nas, this rapper, released a music video about how he chooses to leave heaven and go straight to hell. And frankly, it's getting a lot of negative pushback. I think the video is actually quite insightful. I think it tells us something about how wrong we've all gone as a culture. Maybe the rapper didn't mean it that way, but I think just the way this whole episode is presented really should serve as a cautionary tale for the whole culture because this stuff is real.
I agree. I think this is the problem, though. They wonder why society does what it, starts to react, and why kids, are reacting in a certain way and becoming or idolizing certain people. And this is part of the reason. Michael Knowles, as always, thank you for joining us.